Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another week, another show. It's Geekonomics. Marc and Bryon here with you. We're going to talk about all things going on in the world of nerd
and stuff,
and a whole bunch of other stuff that we've got going on.
No producer today.
No, well, he's here, but we got a new audio board, and I don't know how to set it up yet for doing
Talkback.
Him being able to talk and hear it through the speakers.
Right.
So, unfortunately, he's here, just not being able to be heard. Which could not be a terrible thing.
It's going to keep this show short.
Yes, because he has a tendency to verbal diarrhea a little bit. So,
you know what?
We can't see you either because I didn't adjust your camera. So you're just.
You don't need to see him.
Yeah, he's there in the shot. He's put himself on so you can see him in the dark.
Thank you, Josh. We appreciate you being here today.
Yes.
Before we get into today's show, I have one piece of housekeeping.
Okay.
This Wednesday, we are recording.
You love your housekeeping. You love your on-air housekeeping.
We are recording our 700th episode.
Yes. Celebration.
Wow.
700th episode celebration.
It's not really.
It's not officially the 700th episode because last week was technically the 700th episode. We numbered it 701. So this is the celebration of us doing 700 episodes.
Yes. It's not. So everybody will find out next week what it is. It will be next week's show.
Correct.
When you say celebration, it's not going to be like a party.
Well, no, but it's like
I know.
It's going to be a special episode.
It's going to be a very special
in tribute to us doing 700 episodes.
Right. Plus.
We've
done way more than 700.
We're over 700, yeah.
No, I'm just saying even now we've done way over 700
Oh,
episodes.
Yeah.
I think
we're going down the rabbit hole here.
Yeah, in the grand scheme of things, I think we're pretty close to 750 episodes we have under our belt.
Still we have no one listening or watching.
We've got new subscribers. We get more views per episode.
We appreciate all of you. Tell your friends. The drive to 500 is going slowly, but we're getting there.
Might be
better to knock us on to 250. Might be more of a
250. Let's shoot for 250.
Yeah.
Baby steps.
Yeah.
As they say.
Yeah. It's very I'm very curious about how people get people to watch their stuff. Like, how does it?
You have to self-promote. There's no way around it.
We don't have that kind of time.
I do the best I can.
We have lives.
It's hard.
And jobs.
But people do listen to us. The YouTube podcast thing, we do get listeners that way. Our normal Podbean in the video.
And that's the other thing, too. It's like, how does that, nowadays, there's so many different places you're broadcasting to, like different venues.
Yes.
Like, how do you keep track of all of that? And, how do you quantify all that into one place?
It's hard. We're on Spotify. We're on Amazon. We're all of them.
Yeah.
We're on all of them.
Yeah.
So I couldn't tell you.
Yeah. You have to, weekly tabulate how many listeners each place.
I do appreciate Rocky leaving comments because comments are always good.
Yeah.
On our YouTube channel.
And your former manager there, Mark, always leaves comments on wrestling topics.
When we do our predictions, I think we get a lot of traffic during that because I always timestamp it and say, hey, listen to our predictions. What are your predictions? And I get
those dirty skippers that skip to the predictions and don't listen to everything else that we talk
about. Who cares? That's great.
Pay the toll. Leave a comment.
It's great.
There's another guy that says that on other shows that I watch on YouTube, and I like that. So I'm stealing it.
Don't steal other people's sayings.
No, it's not. I'm stealing the concept, is what I'm saying.
All right. Anyway. Next week is our 700th celebration episode.
Yes.
I think some people are going to find it very fascinating.
I think many people will find it very fascinating.
We are recording it this Wednesday.
I want to find it very fascinating, and I'm going to be a part of it.
Yeah, me too. People don't really know what we're doing yet, and I think they're going to be
I don't even think I know what we're doing yet.
Honestly, I don't know either.
I'm about to find out on Wednesday. Find out what's going on.
This is going to be interesting.
It's going to be a time.
Do you feel... Without being very vague.
Morse Day and the time.
Being very vague, and nobody really, this might give some clues, which is fine. We're getting close to it. Do you feel if this person is an actual real deal, that some dark things could be felt?
No. I don't think anything dark,
groundbreaking.
I don't think anything that's going to be
Do you feel like she
devastating? That's going to ruin our friendship.
No. I'm just saying. Do you think this person's going to be like
you murdered each other, or I murdered you in a previous life, or something?
Well, all I have to say is, some things were already said. I think what we have to see if those things are repeated.
Yeah.
Because that would be interesting.
I think we could let it out of the bag now. I think it's more a way to sell it.
No, keep it
people
a mystery.
to be excited for it.
No, keep it a mystery.
I mean, I already kind of hinted at it by
How about
previous
this?
statements.
We will say at the very last line at the end of today's show.
Okay.
Right?
All right.
There you go.
We'll tease it.
Yes, we'll tease it. At the very end of the show,
So stay tuned through the episode.
We'll say it.
And we'll know if you skipped. We can track you.
All right.
To the end.
So today we're going to do our Beetlejuice review.
Yes.
Got a lot to say.
We do.
Not
as much as other people, but we have a lot to say.
Yeah, I got stuff. How was your week, Mark? It was your birthday.
It was.
You got this beautiful Lego set right here.
My wife gave me this awesome Jaws Lego that I've been fawning over for a long time now. I've been wanting to get it forever.
That's so cool.
Yeah, the shark actually, you can put it on its own like stand. It comes apart off of there. And the boat, like you can actually have this all come apart and it could all be modular kind of, and you don't have to even use the base part.
Oh, wow.
But no, it was it's really cool. It was a fun build. I actually watched, I put it on my Facebook page. You can actually see the progression of it. I watched Jaws 1, Jaws 2, and Back to the Future all the way through as I was building this. And I literally finished Back to the Future as I was finishing building it.
Wow, I'm surprised you didn't go Jaws 3D.
It wasn't on Netflix. So
well, it's a bad movie anyway.
Yeah. So Jaws 2 isn't much better.
I mean,
it was kind of a lame movie.
I mean, they just wanted to milk that stone.
Yeah. Oh.
They wanted to just milk the that IP at the time.
Yeah. Well, Steven Spielberg only did the first one.
Yes.
And then after that, it was just Universal running with the franchise.
Whatever we can do here.
Like, we did this first one, buddy. Let's make more.
Geez, so this took you about 6 hours, roughly.
Yeah. I mean, it start and stops. It's not like I just sat there for the whole time, but yeah. The boat itself is very detailed. It's got like a whole bunch of different things, and there's like all the rigging and everything and all the different stuff and everything. But yeah, it's pretty intense. It's got all the barrels.
Oh, it's got the gold guy.
Yep, that's Quint.
Then
it's got the sheriff down here, and then Richard Dreyfuss's character there.
Oh, man.
Then like this part actually just pops right off, and then you can look inside.
Oh,
Like
wow.
everything's attached there, so that's why it's not going to be easy to get off there. But
That's pretty cool.
yeah, so it's like you can look inside and see all the different things and everything, and then the windows pop open, and this comes off all the time. This is right here, so it's not tight.
Right.
But yeah, no, it's pretty fun. It's a pretty good one.
Nice. So you had a good birthday. I was shown that you bit the bullet and got a tattoo.
It's a fake tattoo.
Now where did you get this tattoo from?
Claire does these fake tattoos.
So Claire did this to you?
Yes. Yeah, basically, yeah. I've been messing with her and telling her I would try it randomly.
Yeah.
One of these days, and I said, well, maybe for my birthday I'll do one. So.
And then it's funny. Anyway. You showed it to me I knew it wasn't real.
There was a microsecond where you thought it was.
No.
My sister did. It's kind of a funny one. It's you can't see it because of the lights and everything, but it's just a stegosaurus. Or a triceratops, sorry. I keep calling it, because Claire calls it a stegosaurus for some reason.
Triceratops.
But it's a triceratops and just says, not today. Because I joke around all the time and say, not today, Satan. So, she has like a bunch of them she gets all the time, and that was that was the only one that it was either this or like a huge like arm one of a humpback whale, but I thought that'd be too intense.
Oh, it's fake though.
I know, but
now, is it a rub-on? Is it a water? How do you put it on?
Yeah, it's like it's like a sticker. You just put it on your arm, and you just leave it for an hour, and then it's on your arm for 2 weeks.
Oh my God!
Yeah,
that's pretty cool.
Yeah,
nice.
There's all different ones you can get, and all different designs and everything.
You should start doing whole arm ones.
She has them all over. She has them all over herself. She has now she's in like a space motif, and she has like all like a space, like the whole like universe on this side, and like a space thing on this side. Yeah, she gets into it.
But it's cool because then you can try different things.
Well, that's the thing. She's thinking of doing a new tattoo, so this is like her like trial and error. of trying different things to see like what she might. Yeah. It's like what she might like, what she might not like.
Yeah. It's kind of cool though. It goes away and you can do a whole new theme.
Yeah.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like that.
Yeah, and get them on Amazon. She like gets them all the time.
Nice.
Yeah. She's like a whole like booklet of them.
So you showed your family.
I showed my sisters.
And your sisters
Mariah
both
was not
have,
happy about it.
Context is, for people who don't know, both your sisters have a lot of tattoos.
Mariah just got her 11th yesterday.
Right.
Yes.
So for you to do this, I could see them going, what?
I dislike needles. And as I said to Claire, because she asked me like literally our first conversation when we met, she has tattoos, so she was asking about why I don't do tattoos. I'm like, I don't think there's anything that I like right now that I'm going to like in 20 years that I'm going to want on my body.
Yeah.
And after doing this, just this one, I've said it to her yesterday. It's like, I've only had this on for like 2 days, and I'm already like, I don't like this. So,
yeah,
like if I was stuck with this forever, I'd be annoyed at myself. There's nothing, I can't make decisions like that, like a permanent decision like that.
It's a big one.
Yeah.
It is a big one.
Yeah, especially something that I could see. Like she has them like places where you can't like literally see it. Like she has a couple things that you can read on her arm and stuff like that.
Yeah,
but it's like inspirational stuff. But yeah, I can't. Like I know you have like your guy on your arm and stuff like that, but I can't. Yeah. I couldn't. Because I don't think like I've said to you before, it's like in 20 years, you're gonna look at that and be like, why do I have this guy in my arm?
Well, I think about that right now.
Yeah, so that's the thing.
It doesn't bother me though.
Yeah, but that's how I would think. That's all I would think about all day long. It's like I got this stupid thing in my arm.
I hear you. I agree.
Because like the only things I can think of is like, because it's the discussions that come up multiple times, and like she was like, oh, you can get like the Mandalorian or something like that or something like. I'm like, yeah, I like Mandalorian now, but what says in 2 seasons or 3 seasons, the show sucks.
Yeah.
And then I'm stuck with the Mandalorian on my arm.
Right. But you don't have to get like a show. You can get something that is more personal to you.
But even that, I don't know.
Well, yeah.
Like Sarah has like a cardinal for her mom on her arm.
Right. There you go. That's personal.
But I'm like, I don't want. Like,
well, nobody's saying get a cardinal.
No, I'm just saying. It's like I don't think there's anything that like I could think of that I'm gonna be like in a year and a half. I'm gonna be like, oh man, I'm so glad I got that put on myself forever.
Right. I hear you. Anyway, tattooing is not for anyone, but I think that's really funny, and now you can freak people out with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like it. I like it.
For at least 2 weeks.
Right. So how was the rest of your birthday? How
it was great.
Yeah.
Friday, we hung out. I built this. Then Saturday, I did some errands, ran around, did some stuff with Claire. Basically, Claire sat at home. I ran around, did errands, and she texted me and called me what you needed done. Yeah, husband stuff.
Yeah.
Because it's my birthday, so of course I'm the one that has to run around and do things.
You're not bitter.
No, not at all. It was nice though. I went and got a car wash, and then it rained that night. So Claire was like, "Why'd you waste money on a car wash? And it's going to rain."
Well,
like because there's a method. You have to get the car washed. I was literally driving to do something else because Kohl's was having the free Kohl's Cash giveaway weekend. Yes. I'm like, I'm going to go check this out because I want to see how much Kohl's Cash I could get. So I thought maybe if I got a decent amount of money off of Kohl's Cash, I could get another Lego.
I didn't know this was going to go down this road.
So on the way there, in my head, I got this voice in my head saying, you need to get a car wash. You need to get a car wash. Well, so I'm like, all right, I'm getting a car wash.
If you get a car wash, it always has to rain.
Yes.
That's the rules.
Which I thought of after the fact. My dad would always say that to me, like, you need to wash your car before it rains so that it doesn't leave stuff on your car from the rain because it'll wash right off because of the stuff you have from the car wash.
But getting a car wash, nonetheless, is good, especially the undercarriage because that's where crap sits.
Exactly.
Yeah. So
but he would like wash it himself, whereas I don't have that kind of time.
No.
I'll pay the $20 and let the machine do it.
Yeah.
So no, I went to Kohl's and I actually got a free shirt out of it because I ended up getting $15 in Kohl's Cash. So I was smart and I bought a $15 shirt.
There you go.
All I do is pay the taxes.
Nice.
So, so that night we went to dinner for my birthday with the Sibs and the Sibs in-laws and the in-laws to Via Appia on Wilbraham. Wilbraham, and that was delicious. Great time. They had like old guys playing music, like guitar and piano and stuff.
Oh wow.
So it's very relaxing. But I got more Lego from that. I still got to build. I haven't built them yet.
Yeah.
I got 2 Batman sets, so I'm excited about that.
Jeez, look at you.
Well, I mean, that's the thing now. It's like, what else am I going to ask for? I
Right.
could buy everything else for myself.
Yeah.
I have a job.
Yeah.
I'm, an adult. Stuff that I won't usually buy for myself
Right.
is Lego.
It's
so.
expensive Legos. Yeah.
Well, it's not that expensive, but still,
Well,
it's like I'm
yeah.
not gonna. Yeah. So, but yeah. So, yeah. Then Sunday, just watch football all day, and the Patriots won.
Oh,
Which
did
is
they win?
yeah.
I was going to ask.
Yeah.
And
Beat
there
the
was
Bengals.
football like every night.
There was. It started Thursday. There was a game Friday. They didn't play Saturday for college football. Was playing Saturday,
Mm-hmm.
and then they played, of course, yesterday. And there's a
Mhm.
game tonight.
Wow.
But then they'll be back into the usual Thursday, Sunday, Monday
Right.
until holiday season, and then they'll play every time again.
Oh boy, I can't.
But yeah,
believe it.
but hockey starts in like a month.
Now, how do you feel about the big announcement for the Super Bowl?
Kendrick Lamar. I don't think I can name one Kendrick Lamar song.
Thank you. I think.
So I don't understand why he'd be.
How is he
playing
going to do
the Super
20
Bowl.
minutes?
I'm assuming it's going to be like a collaborational thing.
Yes, but they have to do original.
Well, they'll have
They have
other-
to do the original songs.
Yeah.
And I couldn't tell you one name.
I mean, the only ones I know
Not
of
even
him would be the
5.
ones from Black Panther. Is that what he did? Did he do Black Panther soundtrack?
Dude, I
The original
have
one?
No idea.
I'm pretty sure he did.
I couldn't even tell you.
Yeah. So those are the only ones I know. I'm about
Kendrick-
99% sure he did the original Black Panther
We
soundtrack.
are out of the demograph for the Super Bowl halftime show. We are out of it
I
because
feel like there's a thing.
there's
with
been
the-
artists that shown up and I love them. This is the first one I just went, well, this is a younger demographic. This is for people in their 30s and 20s is what this is for.
But the thing with
that's fine.
The thing with
I mean, they want to bring in ratings. So this is what this is what it's going to do.
but with Kendrick Lamar, yes, he did the whole soundtrack for the first album.
Yeah, but he's not going to be performing
Black Panther.
songs.
There was a couple songs in there he could perform. He didn't do just the songs. He did like actual songs.
Doesn't matter. I still
All the Stars. That was one song I liked.
I don't even know what that is.
It's like all the stars are about. I'm not gonna sing it because that's
We're going to copyright strike.
yeah. But that was the big song off that. I remember.
I don't.
But I'm assuming he'll play it because that's like one of his big hits. Was that song?
Well, interesting. We'll see. I'm sure he'll have special guests.
If
They
I remember
always do.
correctly, and I think I just saw it on here, I think he also did the Bad Blood with Taylor Swift. So this might be their way of getting Taylor Swift on the Super Bowl because she can come on and sing Bad Blood.
Well, that's her song.
But
So
he was on it.
he rapped on it.
I think so. I'm pretty sure.
It could be. It could
Yeah.
be. But see, that's a Taylor Swift song. But if they do,
But
if
they've
they
done
have,
the thing like they did last year with all the different singers come on and
Yeah,
do
yeah.
the thing, and they did like the rap one in Detroit and all that and that kind of thing.
right.
Or LA. So they could do that. They could have special guests.
They always have special guests.
Yeah.
That's the whole thing.
Yeah. It's like he's the headliner, but they'll have other people that come on.
Yeah.
Surprises.
Yeah. I don't know.
'Cause that's the thing. Like that's the other part of it is you say like, we're not the demographic for it. But
no.
the demographic hasn't been very well defined because they've had like the Who and the Rolling Stones
Yeah.
and Prince.
Yes. Those are for.
And those like weren't the demographic of the people watching football at the time.
Yeah,
when
but
they
those
were
are
the Super Bowl
those
halftime
artists.
shows.
Those artists
Like Beyonce.
cross generations because they came out in the 70s and 80s, but they were still known by.
No, I know. I
everybody
just feel like there's a
now.
difference since it went from Pepsi to Apple Music. Now it's Apple Music. It feels like it's more like Apple Music artists, or you're going to get more of that kind of vibe.
Needless to say, this is a younger artist who appeals to a younger generation than us. He
Yes.
hasn't crossed like. There definitely can be people in our generation that love him, but the first time I'm like, I couldn't name a song.
It seems like there's more. There's other acts that I think would be more universal than Kendrick Lamar. Not that he's bad. Nothing against Kendrick Lamar. I'm just saying I think that there's more a widespread demographic they could be hitting.
Yes, but he is
With
very
other acts.
he is very popular.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm not saying he's
Needless to say.
Yeah.
Even though I don't know him.
Yeah.
I couldn't tell you anything.
Yeah.
But he is very popular.
Except for Drake.
Drake doesn't like him.
Drake doesn't like him. I heard.
Yeah,
I heard that. I don't know anything about it, but I know that they don't like each other.
There's some sort of Drake.
There's a beef.
There's a beef.
Probably called him Jimmy or something, and he didn't like that.
Is that his character's name from Degrassi?
Yeah, that's his name from Degrassi.
Hey, Jimmy.
You don't call him Jimmy. Don't call me Jimmy. I'm
Um,
Drake.
I don't know what's going on.
You'll always be Jimmy to me, Drake.
So, Mark, I have one thing to talk about, but you watch anything? I mean, I know you had a whole marathon, and but catch up on anything new?
Not really. No, I just kind of vegged out for the weekend. It was kind of, I was going to say the one thing from yesterday during football. I haven't done this in a long time. I took a nap in a chair watching TV. It hasn't happened in a while. I don't usually do it anymore. But I was out for like a good 2 hours.
Did you even... Okay, you say
I don't even know
this-
what happened.
You say this, but you didn't even watch the last 10 minutes of The Boys because you said you fell asleep.
I know, but I mean, like, this one, like, a full-on... Like, that was like a quick thing where I thought it was just... I didn't really realize I fell asleep.
Yeah.
But this was like a full-on, like, passed out for 2 hours. Woke up.
Yeah.
Games that ended that I didn't... Like, I remember them being, like, second quarter. And now it's, like, the end of the fourth quarter. I'm like, what the heck happened?
You fell
What's
asleep.
going on?
And Claire's like, you missed the whole thing.
No, she's like, it was great. I was, happy you got some snoozing in. She's like, it's good to see you're, like, relaxed. Because it was a great day for it.
Yeah, yeah.
Yesterday was, like, a perfect day.
Yeah, it's cold.
We opened the windows up in the house. We turned all the air conditioners off.
Yeah, I haven't had my AC on since July.
Oh, well, Our house doesn't get a good, like, breeze situation. So it kind of stagnates.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
and you kind of need the air to help.
Yeah, yesterday was good.
Yeah.
I actually was... I went to Mansfield and sold at the drive-in flea market.
Oh.
I was there from 7 till about 2:30.
Yeah.
Did pretty good. I saw our friend Justin. He
Nice.
goes to all the shows.
Yeah. Well, I know you're a big
a
napper.
good
That's why I
time.
brought it up.
No,
You're a
Allison.
professional napper.
No, Allison naps. I do not like napping.
I thought you usually fall asleep when you're reading.
I just fall asleep while reading.
So that's the same thing.
Well, I don't want to, though.
But that's napping.
Yeah, but I don't want to nap. See, that's the thing. I don't want to. But it happens.
I think it's the age thing.
Yeah.
Now that I hit 45 now, I'll be napping more.
I read a paragraph, and then I just drift off. I can't help it.
It must be a 45 thing.
Dude, I've been doing this for years. Just fall asleep. It's like when you put like
You're like a narcoleptic.
you put a blanket over a bird's cage.
Just passes out.
I just like
Just give you a book.
yes. It takes me months to read a book because I'm falling asleep constantly, and I got to reread everything.
That Brian won't shut up. What are we gonna do? Give him a book and fall right asleep.
You fall right to sleep. I do fall asleep outside a lot. Like I
Yeah.
do lean back and then I'll close my eyes.
Yeah.
And I'll be listening to something, and then
Yeah.
I will fall asleep. But I'm not purposely taking that. My wife is like, I need to take a nap.
Oh, Claire's a big napper. She's like a professional.
Yeah.
She comes
I
home
can't-
from work at like 2 o'clock in the afternoon. She's like, I'll see you at 5. But then she'll go to bed at like 9. I'm like, how do you do that? Like yesterday I took a nap for 2 hours. And I couldn't fall asleep till like 3.
That's normal for you, Mark.
No, because I'm usually like been going to bed at midnight. But it's like,
It's pretty late.
well, not for me. But now it's like I took that 2 hours and I'm awake. Like my
Right.
body's like, you've already rested. You don't need to go to bed again.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But it's like I have to go to bed. I got things to do tomorrow. I can't be up all night. Then you're tossing and turning, and it's like takes forever.
Yeah, that's why I don't like napping. I like to stay in my schedule.
Yeah. And then since the air conditioner was off, there was no sound, like the air conditioner sound.
Yeah.
So it was that first night of no air conditioner sound. So you like
That's been nice.
don't have I like usually the air conditioner sound. I'm like I pass right out.
Yeah.
I mean it's like dead silent. I don't like it.
Go on your phone.
I got a wave machine. It just
Yeah.
plays constantly.
Yeah, there
But
you
even
go.
that was like not cutting it. I needed more noise.
You need AC noise.
I need an AC noise. I need a white noise or something on top of it.
That's too funny. So I did, for me, I have one thing other
Yes.
than I sold at Mansfield. We started it. We have 2 episodes left. Telemarketers on HBO.
Okay.
Fantastic. We watched 3 parts docuseries.
Okay.
It's about the Civic Development Group and about these guys who work there.
Mm-hmm.
And one of them just recorded a lot of things.
Yeah.
And another guy who was big junkie, but they started to dig in and how much they would scam people. Now, do you remember growing up? I remember this.
I do remember growing up.
You remember growing up, and your parents
I was there.
or somebody would get one of those decals in the mail from the police department or a fire department?
Oh, the police beneficiary committee or something.
That was part of the scam.
Yeah, yes. That
Yes.
was an obvious scam.
Well, it was not an obvious scam.
My
for a
parents
lot of
would never
people.
pay for it, never give money to it. But
So how'd they get the decal? You only get the decal. if
no,
you
I
donate
just
money.
knew about it because I knew about it. I never saw the decal, but I know of it.
Okay, so
It was a well-known. We had a officer in our neighborhood that growing up, and so I remember him going around to everyone in the neighborhood when it first started, and the police departments were very aggravated about it because people were giving money to this thing thinking it was going to the police department,
well,
but it wasn't.
watch the documentary. We're one
So-
episode in. Hold on. So in the beginning, what this group was doing was, if the police department in your county or whatever
Yes.
needed to fundraise,
Yeah.
they would go to the Civic Development Group.
Yes.
The Civic Development Group would cut them a check
Yes.
and say, here is the money that you need,
Yeah.
and we will collect on your behalf.
Yeah.
We will do all the legwork.
Yeah.
But the catch was the
They'd raise
Civic
more
Development
than the
Group.
check was for.
The Civic Development Group was getting 90% of the donation,
Yeah.
and the police department was getting 10%.
Yeah.
That's nothing.
Yeah.
So then,
So going off of that,
Yeah.
like I was saying, so the officer went around, Mr. Seelig went around, was Seelig? No.
it doesn't matter.
Josh knows it, we'll say the name.
It doesn't matter.
Went around and talked to everybody and mentioned it to everybody, like, hey, don't donate to this or we have an actual thing you could donate to,
Right.
like the police auxiliary kind of thing or whatever it's called back then,
Yeah.
that you can donate to that
Yeah.
would just get right to us. We don't use an outside group. If
Right.
anyone ever calls asking, or if you know anyone who gets the thing saying they're being called, it's not us.
Right.
Don't give money to it.
So this documentary is very interesting because it's about this organization that there's one in New Haven, Connecticut. There's one in New Jersey. This one is about the one in New Jersey. And they would use pretending to be a police officer or a firefighter or whatever, getting donations, and they were getting a lot of money out of a lot of people. But then there was an investigation, 2020, but it's the people behind the whistleblowing is very interesting. This company would only hire convicts and druggies. The workplace was a party.
Yeah.
People would just do whatever, and as long as they were bringing in the money, they didn't care what you did. But it's about these 2 guys
Yeah.
who basically started like realizing this is not good,
Yeah.
and they're the ones who are the whistleblowers of this.
Yeah.
It's very interesting. We were 1 episode in. Highly, highly entertaining.
Is it on the Max, you said?
It's on the Max. Very educational about this. I remember this. I remember growing up with those stupid decals.
Yeah, I remember like my grandparents doing it one time, and then my mom being mad at my grandparents for doing it.
Yeah, but that's who they were.
Yeah, as usual. They go after the older folks.
And they had a script and
Yeah.
then a rebuttal for every little thing.
Yes.
They literally, their cubicle is filled with rebuttals.
Yeah.
And they would show how they would not take no for an answer. They had one guy on film. He's talking to someone, and he's like, "Oh, your house just burnt down? Well, you're telling me you can't reach into that wall of yours?" Like,
Yeah.
they didn't care.
Yeah.
And they would get money out of people.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah.
But anyway, hopefully I'll finish it
House
by
just
next
burnt
week.
down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, just give us money. But telemarketers, it's on the Max, and I know the Crazy Cat chimpanzee documentary just ended this weekend.
Yes.
So we're probably going to watch that one next because I'm really interested in that one. But anyway.
It's kind of like the Tiger King, but it's chimps.
Yes. That's the woman who owned the chimp who ripped the face off of the woman. I think that was in Connecticut, wasn't it?
It was. I want to say like near here.
Yeah. Was it Cromwell?
Somewhere like
Something
that.
like that.
Yeah.
So that's going to be interesting.
Yeah.
Well, that's a doozy.
That's a doozy.
Anyway, that's all I've really watched. It's been a crazy week.
Yeah.
The biggest thing was Beetlejuice.
Yes.
Which...
No popcorn bucket. No specialty popcorn bucket, which was surprising.
Well, I got the cup.
Yeah.
I picked up a cool Batman 30th anniversary popcorn bucket.
But yeah, there was no like... I was kind of thought there would be one. I know you said just one that Agawam had, but I don't think that was an official.
No, that was official.
Was it official?
It had the sandworm going
Yeah,
around.
but I don't know if that. Sometimes they make their own, so I wasn't sure if that was.
No, that's... I don't think Agawam could afford to make their own.
That's why I was surprised, yeah. But no, I was kind of surprised there wasn't any.
They could have just run out. Or maybe AMC, Cinemark didn't have it.
Yeah.
AMC had
maybe.
it. AMC seems to always have the bigger...
AMC was definitely, like, they were promoting Beetlejuice a lot.
Yeah.
So maybe they were, like, an exclusive. It's a Universal property.
Right. So, we saw Beetlejuice.
Yes.
This past Thursday. I'm going to do my best not to spoil stuff, but we might spoil things, so people beware.
You've been warned.
You've been warned. I make no promises.
Yes.
Now, me going in, my expectations, I think were a little bit higher going in because I was getting more excited with the promotional stuff. And I just watched the original 2 weeks ago.
Yes.
Allison and myself. And man, I miss the 80s movies. I miss 80s cinema. You know, you're talking about Back to the Future and Jaws. I miss the...
Which is crazy to realize that like, when I watched Jaws and Jaws 2, they were both before we were born. Like 75 and 78.
78, yeah.
I was like, really? I could have swore those movies were 80s movies.
Well, we grew up watching them, but
no, I know
they were on cable.
Yeah, I could have swore that. Yeah,
right.
I could have swore they came out in the 80s.
But I miss cinema of the 70s, 80s. I just miss the originality and stuff. And you know, rewatching Beetlejuice.
Yeah,
I caught one thing that I never caught as a kid, and even my wife caught the same thing.
Yes,
that in Beetlejuice, which they don't talk about in the new one, they just they gloss over it. They don't even mention it. In the original Beetlejuice, all the dead people that they interact with, they're all dead because they committed suicide. Because one of the guys in the real world, he was the one with the wife's partner that was helping redo the house. I can't think of his name now.
Yeah.
He goes, "Oh, I heard if you commit suicide in the afterlife, you become a civil servant." And in the afterlife, they're dealing with civil servants.
Yes. And
the girl's got her wrist cut.
Yeah.
The old Judy, the old lady, her throat is cut. And when she smokes a cigarette, the smoke comes out of her neck.
See, I think that was like a trach situation. That wasn't a...
No, it was...
Oh, maybe.
It was literally like this. Everybody that's civil servant, you could see how one guy was totally flat because he jumped in front of a truck. He got run over. One of the guys who works in the mailroom.
Lady got cut in half, though. She wasn't...
Who are you talking about?
There was the showgirl that got cut in half.
That's the waiting room, not civil servant.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Civil servant are the people working.
That work there.
Right, the workers.
Gotcha.
They have to work because of that.
Gotcha.
And the people who just show up because they're dead because of whatever reason are in the waiting room.
Yeah.
Anyway, it was a fun little detail that, like, as a child, I didn't get that.
Yeah.
And then me and I was like, oh my God, that totally makes sense now.
Yeah.
Because why is that guy on a noose in the mailroom? Why is that guy flat? Oh, he jumped in front of a truck. That woman shows her wrist. I'm like, as a kid, I was just like, I didn't get it.
Gotcha.
Anyway.
Yeah, it does make sense.
It does make sense. And it was fun. Like, so going into this, I was like really excited. And it was cool to see a lot of those characters come back and how they dealt with some of the characters.
Yes.
Overall, I had a fun time with it. What about you, Mark?
I thought like Claire asked me about it, and I have been trying to explain it. It's like I liked it. I didn't think it was great. but I thought it was a good movie. Like, I enjoyed it. I had a good time.
I agree with that statement.
But it's like, I don't know if it's like anything to write home about. Not like...
Right. Well, no,
It's like, I kind of like...
I think we're
she's
going
like, I don't know why you have more to say about it. I'm like, I don't really have anything more to say about it. I don't know why. It just doesn't...
Right.
It was good.
Yeah. Yeah. You know what? I think we're going to fall in the same... when we rate this, I think we're going to be around the same thing, which is interesting.
Yeah.
Because I didn't know where you were going to land.
I mean, it was funny. It had funny parts. And like, Claire like mentioned to me that she looked it up, and like, he was literally on screen the same amount of time as he was in the first movie. 18 minutes was all he was in the first movie, and that's all he was in this movie. And like,
I
well, it
think
definitely
he was
feels
longer.
like no, it isn't. I looked it up too, and it's exactly 18 minutes.
But that's fine. That's how.
No, it's great.
That's
what I'm
what
saying. It
Michael-
was just like, but yeah, it kind of is just.
Well, let's jump into it.
I know they had to like do things for certain characters that they couldn't bring back, so they had to do things to make it.
Well, the crux
make
of the
sense.
movie is because the father died.
Yes.
Right.
Which I went in after the movie. I mentioned like it probably wasn't the best idea for me to come in with an open mind on this movie when it was literally the 2-year anniversary of my dad passing. So I went into that thinking that as soon as the dad dies in the movie, I'm like, oh, well, there you go. So now I'm like,
he did get chopped by a shark. Actually, a shark bites him in half.
Shark bites him in half.
So it's not.
But
like,
no, but I'm just saying it was just kind of like dealing with that being the central part of the movie.
Yes.
Didn't help my excitement levels.
Right. I hear
of
you.
wanting to be like,
we gotta
man,
stop,
this is hilarious.
You got to stop watching movies that deal with death.
They all deal with death now. Seems like everything. Every reboot is dealing with someone's death.
Because
like Ghostbusters really happened like.
Well, we watched Clerks 3 not that long after.
Yeah.
There's death in that.
Yes.
Ghostbusters had a resurrection.
Yes.
A death and a resurrection.
Yes.
This one just had a comical death.
Yes.
I mean, it wasn't. I mean, comparatively, it wasn't like on the lengths of like The Boys with Huey's dad.
No.
That I totally get because he's in the hospital and he's all hooked up. This was just a shark bit someone in half and that was it.
Yeah.
Like there's a funeral, but it wasn't like they weren't in the funeral for that long.
No. Yeah. But
should have took a longer nap.
No, I still haven't recovered from the getting to bed late last night.
But
no, it was just kind of like I don't know. I was going into it and I was excited for it, and like I don't know, it just feel like it never. Like I was waiting for it to do something, and it never did get to a point where it was like, man, this is great, this is awesome. I'm glad I'm watching this.
I
hear like, oh, this is cool.
Yeah.
This is neat.
Put a pin in that because I agree with you there. So we're not going to go through the whole movie, obviously. I still think people should go see it. It was a fun time in the theater.
Yeah, no, it was.
But
it did great this weekend. I mean, like over $100 million.
Let's just go over the things we like because I have pros and cons. I'll go first. I love seeing the characters again. I thought what they did with the father was funny. Like some people, it seemed to bother them that he was on screen too much. For me, that character looks like that, so I separate the actor, but in the character.
Yeah.
And to me, seeing him in claymation form briefly was kind of cool. Seeing being bit in half was cool. And the fact that the rest of the movie,
he's just bit in half.
Yeah, it didn't bother me at all. It did bother some folks, and I understand. If you know the history of him, the person, then I understand.
I mean, it was like one of those things where like you couldn't really do the movie without mentioning him somehow,
right?
As well as the other two characters, you couldn't do it without at least mentioning Alec Baldwin and Gina Davis' character. Mention. They mentioned it really quickly,
which I knew.
They kind of just they did their thing and they moved on. But they didn't because again. Alec Baldwin's character, you can't really have him around right now.
He can't act right now. He's doing with legal stuff.
Well, he's through that, I think.
No, it's re-upped again.
Oh,
and
whatever.
Gina Davis, you can't have one without the other.
Yeah, you can't have one without the other.
But
so
man,
that was
Gina Davis, I miss her so much. Like watching the original Beetlejuice, those two
couldn't
were great.
They couldn't age.
Exactly.
Because they're dead.
Yes. So they would look very out of place.
So it'd be very weird to have them if they were there.
Yes.
And they were aged.
They were aged.
I understood the side story that they had to do, or I don't know why they didn't have to do it, but I understood why they did it. The Jenna Ortega story.
Yeah.
Her characters.
It was
story.
Jeremy and Astrid.
Yes.
Now, let's jump into that.
Yes.
My pros, other than seeing the characters again, I loved this movie took place in the underworld. That's the last thing I want to say.
Yeah.
I really like the fact that we got more of the underworld, less of the overworld. I don't know. This
real
movie,
world, reality.
Yeah, this movie was more underworld. I like that. So, Astrid and Jeremy is like the B plot, right?
Yes.
Now, the B plot, Astrid.
Or you can even say the C plot.
Yeah, it kind of is a C plot.
Because the B plot was more Lydia and Justin Theroux's character.
And then you had the B plot, which is Dolores going after Beetlejuice, which was a very wasted thing.
Yeah,
because
that kind of was just like a reason to do something.
Let's start. Let's go back.
And a reason to have William Dafoe in the movie.
Astrid and Jeremy.
Yeah.
This plot, actually, I thought this should have been the plot of the movie. Like, I almost felt like this should have been extended more. This should have been the crux that Astrid gets pulled in and they have to go rescue her.
If they had done it where, like you were saying, if that was the crux of the movie, like, I understand they had they had to go back to the house because he passes, so then that opens the door to Beetlejuice being brought back in again.
Yeah.
But I feel like if they had done like they were doing, and they kind of sort of did it, but didn't really hit it the right way, where you didn't really mention Beetlejuice much until the big plot thing happens.
Yeah.
With Astrid's character, where they had to do something.
Yeah.
And then she has to like recruit Beetlejuice to help her.
Well, yeah, that would have been...
As opposed to her just, like, calling on him and him appearing.
Yeah, I feel like...
I don't want to go too much into it because Josh hasn't seen it yet either.
I know, but... So, Josh, plug your ears. But anyway, Astrid and Jeremy, I felt, to me, was the best part of the movie. I honestly... the more I thought about this, it was such a letdown. Monica Bellusci's character, Dolores, they built her up. She staples herself back together. They spent, like, 10 minutes... Then she sucks.
Danny DeVito's soul.
She sucks everyone's soul throughout the whole movie. She's the big bad.
Yeah.
The ending. Her and Rory, they just rehash the ending of Beetlejuice 1.
Yes.
Gone.
Yeah.
And I was like, all that build up? I was really hoping.
They kind of just like MacGuffined it. It's like, we just need to get to wrap this up. It's like it was one of those things where it's like, oh, we're running late here. We got to get this up. We're running out of budget.
Someone posted this, and
we got to
kind
wrap
of
this up and move on.
This is Beetlejuice: The Force Awakens.
Yes,
very much so. They just redid the ending.
Yeah, they kind of just like, we got to wrap this up.
They have a wedding. Sandworm comes. This movie, they had a wedding. Sandworm comes.
Yeah.
Now the Sandworm takes out 2 different people.
Yeah.
But I was like, man, they're building to something big with her. This is going to be a great ending.
But then again, like, my first thought of that was, okay, at the end of the first movie, that's how they get rid of Beetlejuice.
Yes.
But that definitely doesn't get rid of Beetlejuice because he's still around.
Because he went to the waiting room. He's a demon.
Yeah. So
but
these two...
Well, Dolores is a demon.
Yes.
And Jeremy, Justin Theroux's character, is a human.
Just a human.
So he's going to end up in the waiting room.
He's going to end up in the waiting room, and she's going to go back to wherever.
Yeah. But it just got rid of them.
Yeah. But I'm saying it's like you're not like solving it, so to speak.
Yeah. It was kind of a cop-out because I really thought Dolores' character, there was going to be like, she was more powerful than Beetlejuice.
Yeah.
Like, he seems to have total control of everything.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, because he's been there forever. She's been locked away, and she has like an
axe to grind
situation.
Though.
Yeah.
She has an axe to grind. So I really felt we were gonna get like a
then
nice
like
head
they
to
tried
head.
to wrap up too many characters' stories by like doing things to other side characters.
They wrapped it all pretty quick.
Yeah,
it was just
very much. I don't know.
The pros.
It was still a good movie.
Yes. Oh, it's fine.
It just was not a great movie.
You know what it was? Too many subplots.
Yes.
Too many characters.
Yes.
What made the first one so iconic and so good? Simple.
Yeah.
This could have been simple. You cut out.
I didn't want to say it. I don't want to, because I know there's a lot of people out there that will get really up in arms about this statement. It was almost too Tim Burton-y. Too much Tim Burton stuff. The animations and the claymations and the things. And
I love that. So I
it's
just
just like too over, but it wasn't like centered in the old Beetlejuice feel. It was more now Tim Burton stuff.
It was a mix.
As opposed to like the original Tim Burton stuff, where it was like very, like the stuff had a heart to it, and it had like the rudimentary feel to it, and that kind of thing. This seemed more overproduced.
I agree. I felt like
original
it was
Beetlejuice
too many plots.
Yes.
If you strip it down and you just said,
too many plates spinning.
If this was just Astrid and Jeremy's taking her to another
his
world.
character just didn't hit at all.
But I'm just saying if they focus on one plot. That's the one plot I actually liked.
I know, but I'm saying, to me, that character didn't hit. Like, it didn't make any sense. His, like, weird, over-the-top character.
It wasn't over top. He was just a teenage boy.
No, not him, Rory, the boyfriend.
Oh, Justin.
Lydia's boyfriend, the Justin Theroux's character.
Yes, Jeremy.
Yeah. Is that his character's name?
No, Roy, you're right. Rory, yeah.
He just, like, I don't know. The chemistry between the two of them just didn't work. It seemed too forced.
His character didn't need to be there, really.
At all.
Yes, I'm saying.
It was too forced.
For me, I thought that Astrid and Jeremy was a good drive to get them to go into the underworld because they have to rescue her.
It just made, but the thing with that storyline is it just made no sense.
Well, it made sense.
But like her part of it didn't make any sense. Like she's going around hating everything, every person, doesn't talk to anybody, has no things, everything. And like literally just meets this one person and instantly they're like puppy love. It's like why?
Yet again, if they didn't introduce all these other characters, that could have been done.
And
a
it
little
just
bit better.
shows more of like this world's bad parenting, of just not like having any contact to the person that your daughter's just randomly dropping your daughter off at some person's house. You've never met them, don't know anything about these people.
She's in college.
Never checked it. No, she's in high school.
No, she's in college. She was going to college. Remember, they went to her school.
It was a high school. It was like a private school.
Yeah, I thought she's going into college, though. Remember?
No,
she's like, I'm going into college.
She might, yeah. She was like a senior in high school.
Yeah.
But even still, it's like you don't know these people from Adam. You're just dropping your kid off.
It's a movie. You can't go into it's a movie.
But like, I don't know.
Anyway.
You figured if you grew up in that town, that was the other thing. If you grew up in that town, like Lydia technically did.
Yeah.
You should know backstories of things.
No, she moved out though.
But wouldn't you have like checked with somebody, like the realtor beforehand? Be like, hey, my daughter's going to meet up with this person.
You're thinking too much into it, Mark.
No, that's just actual story. That's actual life. It's like you can't just like
it's a movie. You can't
just to change
you're
things
overthinking. You're overthinking. I know what you're saying, but you're overthinking it. All right. Anyway,
and it was very not like. It was written in a way.
If I move out of Enfield, I'm not checking into people with Enfield.
I'm checking everybody. I check my neighbors. I don't know who these people are.
Yeah,
I want to know what's going on.
If I move out, I don't care what happens in my old town. Well, that's you. I would just...
Well, even where I'm moving to, or if I had a kid and I was bringing a kid back to my neighborhood.
Only a funeral. That's it.
I know, but if for that, and my daughter wants to go hang out with some random person that she just met in my old hometown, I'm gonna call around to my friends that still live in town, and be like, "Hey, who is so and so? What's the backstory?"
Well,
here?
She did find out
after the fact.
She did find out.
I don't know.
Anyway,
bad parenting.
This is
bad parenting.
This is like you're going into the weeds here, but anyway,
these are the things that bother me.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. We went over,
but it was also bad writing in the fact that like, if you've ever seen any movie before ever, you instantly knew what was going on in a lot of things.
Well, yeah. I like the twist with Jeremy.
There wasn't really a twist. It was pretty obvious.
Yeah, but even if it was obvious, I still enjoyed it more because it was different. The rest of the movie was a lot of the same.
Yeah.
That's what I'm trying to say. I like that part of the story was not a rehash of the first movie. You know what I'm saying? If you saw it coming, awesome. But for me, it was like, that's different enough.
Yeah.
I like the underworld. I like Bob.
So,
I like the pinheads. That was a lot of
going
fun.
back to your original concept of civil servants.
Yeah.
Does that mean...
This movie wipes that right out.
Okay.
Because the father, he's being eaten by piranhas.
Yeah.
Yeah. The whole theory is now...
Okay. Because Beetlejuice is technically a civil servant in this.
Well, he takes over. Yeah, he has his own little
his own department.
Yeah,
so he's technically a civil servant.
But technically, we have a backstory between him and Dolores.
That's what I'm saying.
So which is funny.
Yeah.
I like...
So it kind of negates the whole premise.
Yes.
Yeah.
I do like the oddness. I like his... We learn about his background, and I like how it becomes like a telenovela. It's like he's seeing it in Spanish and stuff. That was really funny. I like the
singing, the Bryan Adams song, and all that. That was good.
That was all some really good gags.
There was a lot of good stuff in it.
It
wasn't enough to make it all good.
Right. So I think we went over some pros and some cons. Is there anything we're missing before we give our final thoughts in review or number? A Geekonomics number?
I don't think so. I don't want to get too deep into the story because it ruins it for people.
we
don't want to ruin it, like totally give out everything.
Do you want to go first? Final thoughts?
Sure. Like I said, it's a good movie. I will watch it again when it's on Max or Peacock, wherever it's going to end up. I won't see it again in the theater. I don't think I need to. It wasn't anything I was like telling Claire like we need to go see like instantly,
right?
Unlike Deadpool, Wolverine.
Yeah.
So, this is tough. So I'm gonna give it too low of a score because it wasn't terrible, but it wasn't as good as I hoped it was going to be. So I'm gonna give it like an 8. Yeah, an 8 sounds good.
Okay.
It's a B.
Yeah. 8 out of 10.
Yeah, it's a B movie.
8 is a good number.
Yeah.
I think anything over 6 is, you go from 5 and 6 to middle of the road to oh, awesome, which is 9.
Yeah.
And then 10 is like amazing.
Yeah, that's everything. Yes.
So for me, it's interesting we land on this because I had a great time watching it.
Yeah.
I had a fun time. Nothing about it bothered me as I was enjoying it. I was just like, this is a fun time.
Well, nothing on the screen.
Yeah, I enjoyed everything I saw on screen.
Talk about me.
Everything bothers you. Well, we had people with us that bothered you. So anyway, I had a great time. I enjoyed it. Oh, Mark. Oh, you. I think it was a fun time. The more I thought about it over the weekend, like I was talking to my wife about it, and she even thought the same thing. She's like, I enjoyed the first one more because this one seemed like it had this. And I'm like, yeah. And then it was like the Dolores buildup was for nothing.
Yeah.
And that was like, I was really interested to see where that went.
Yeah.
And she was supposed to be the big bad.
Yeah.
Not really.
Yeah.
So for me, I do agree with the statement, this is Beetlejuice The Force Awakens.
Yes.
I had a lot of fun. It's a movie I'll watch again.
Yeah.
It in my opinion, these movies, we have Ghostbusters now. We have all these old movies coming back.
Need to stop.
This was the one I was okay with coming back because I was like, well, we haven't seen this character.
Well, it was far enough away.
Yes. But it was disappointing that they rehashed the first movie again. They just made it grander.
Yeah.
But I had a great time.
You know what would have been cool, now that I think about it, just thinking of it just now?
What?
If instead of doing the claymation with the father, if they'd had the guys that did the cartoon come in and do that as a cartoon.
The father wasn't in the cartoon, though.
But that'd have been cool, though. To have that homage to the cartoon.
Yes, that would have been. I love the cartoon.
The cartoon was amazing.
So this is, for me, Mark, my cons, we've already talked about it all.
Yeah.
I had a great time. It's actually a movie I would definitely watch again. I thought Michael Keaton is amazing at Beetlejuice.
Yes. Michael Douglas.
Michael Keaton.
He's changing his name.
He's not Michael Douglas.
That's his real name. Just telling you now.
Anyway, I don't know what's going on. He was great to see as Beetlejuice.
Yes.
I thought it was great to see all the characters again. I think it was a good sequel. It could have been better. I wrote this before we had this discussion. I give it an 8 as well.
There you go.
It is a movie. You want a good time in the theater for Halloween?
It's a great popcorn movie.
It is.
It just needed its own popcorn bucket.
For me, I look back at my scores. For me, this was more memorable and better than the last Ghostbusters movie. I couldn't even tell you what happened in the last Ghostbusters movie. But this...
Oh, it's on Netflix, and I just watched it, so I can tell you everything that happened in it.
I like this one more, but if they end up doing a Beetlejuice, which I kind of feel like...
Okay, just making sure.
I kind of feel like the marketing behind this was the fact they did it twice.
Yeah, there's got to be a need for a third one.
If this movie does well, they do a third one.
Didn't bring a young actress in to the movie to not do a third one.
Yeah, I hope. Just do a completely original new story. Do not rehash the first movie again.
Well, they didn't for Star Wars. They came with a whole new story for the second one.
I know.
No one liked it.
I loved it.
You did. I thought it was all right.
I'm just saying that if they do a third one for whatever reason, which I would be there for,
yeah,
just give us something completely new.
Yeah.
But I really enjoyed the Underworld stuff. There's a lot of it I loved.
Afterlife.
Afterlife.
More than Underworld.
It outweighs what I didn't like.
Yes.
What I didn't like, it's not that big of a deal. You know what? It's a fun movie. You go have a good time.
Yeah.
Turn off your brain.
And you get cool stuff at Spirit of Halloween because of it. We got the Book of the Undead as a magnet, and Claire got the purse. It's the actual book, but it's a purse. It opens up and it's...
Where'd you get that?
Spirit of Halloween.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Anyway, so we both give it an 8.
Yeah.
It's a good time.
Yeah.
Go see it. Fun.
Definitely. Check it out.
Yeah. Michael Keaton is a national treasure.
He is. And he's changing his name back to his original name.
He's
Michael
not
Douglas.
changing it to Michael Douglas.
That's his real name.
It doesn't matter. His Michael Keaton is the name. Everyone. There is a Michael Douglas already.
I know, but he said he's changing it back. He'd like to change it back, he said. I'm not lying about it. It's an actual news story.
You show me. You get that news story.
Pull it up right now.
We don't have our students. You get it up. We're wrapping up the show.
We got time.
Now before we end the show, we will be recording. He wants to use his real
He's to start using his real name 3 days ago.
And what is his real name?
Michael John Douglas.
He's got 3 first names?
Yes. He's a 3 first name guy.
Oh, God. I don't know if I can.
He's going to go by Michael Douglas. That's all he's going to go. He's not going to go by Michael John Douglas.
No one's going to call him Michael Douglas.
Well,
There's already a Michael
Douglas. He puts
Douglas.
it on the movies, then it will be. He's not acting anymore.
Michael Keaton's retiring?
Michael Douglas isn't acting anymore. The original Michael Douglas. The actor Michael Douglas.
Oh, this is very confusing. Well, I didn't know
anything. His birthday was the day before mine.
Look at that.
Wonder why we get along so well.
Yes.
What a day for his movie to come out.
Yeah.
Right after his birthday.
And it did very well this weekend.
Congratulations to him.
All right. Mark.
Brian.
We've teased it. Let's end the show with it. What are we doing for our 700th celebration episode?
Really quick, Josh sent us to me. Oh, Mr. Stevens was the police officer's name. We had a ceiling in the neighborhood too. They used to call the house, these telemarketers, and Dad told him that he donated to Mr. Stevens and said he'd call to let him know they called the house, and they would hang up. The guys would hang up.
Yeah, there you go.
So, there you go. My dad was slick like that. So 700th episode celebration.
What are we doing?
Brian and I are going on the local access show filmed here in the studio called Gift of Knowing. It's hosted by Philomena McGee. She is a soul historian, a soul analyst, and other things as well.
Ties into Beetlejuice a little bit.
It kind of does,
yeah.
Yeah. And she's going to tell us about our past lives.
This is going to be wild.
Yes. We've already got a little bit from when Brian first met her.
Let's not talk about it.
So we got a little bit of
We did, though.
tease.
We got a
of it.
tease, which made us interested.
It piqued Brian's interest a lot. She's been trying to get me to come on the show since she started doing the show.
Yeah.
Mainly because of parental stuff and all that.
Mm-hmm.
And I do talk to her when she comes in and about stuff.
Should we have tissues on hand? Should we have tissues?
I don't think so.
Show? Are we going to start crying?
I don't think so.
Emotions going to come flowing?
Yeah, yours might. I don't know.
I like how you said that. Yours might, but not mine. I have no emotion.
I don't. I'm a rock. I don't think so. I think it's going to be okay.
All right.
We're doing the soul historian part. We're not doing like the... But like she also dives into like relationships and can explain like how relationships work and how we can better relationships. Not just like interpersonal relationships, not just romantic relationships.
Yeah.
Which we have a deep romantic relationship.
Mark's been massaging my leg this entire time.
Even though my hands are up here. How am I doing it? So yeah, so we're gonna do that. We're gonna be on 2 episodes of her show.
Oh,
so we're gonna do 2 half-hour shows.
Yes.
I think the plan is, and we'll see how this goes, is the first show is going to be the soul historian part, soul history, her talking to us about our soul's history with each other, and then the second one would be about the relationship and how we can make it better. Not that it's not great now, but. Yeah.
You like whatever. Yeah. Whatever comes out of her, we'll just got to go with it.
Yeah. She works with her 7 masters, which are her 7 deities that she communes with.
Oh, man.
That feeds her the information.
All right.
So.
What I'm going to do, I'm keeping my mouth shut. I'm not feeding any information.
Okay. You have to ask her questions. You can't she's not just going to just offer up stuff.
Well.
That's not how this works.
Oh, I see how this is. I was going to go cold.
No, you have to like come in with questions that you want answered.
I don't have any questions. You told me I have to have questions?
Not like deep thought questions.
Like,
I
have to do homework?
No, not like deep stuff. Okay. But just like be prepared to ask questions.
Gotcha.
Yeah. It kind of blooms from
conversation.
The conversation. Yeah. So be ready to ask questions.
This is going to be interesting.
Yeah.
And then you're going to put it as an hour. We'll have it for our 700th
Yeah, so that'll be next week's show.
Oh,
we'll be... Well, first we'll come on and intro it and we'll outro it at the end. But
we'll talk about...
The majority of the show would just be that.
Yeah, and then we'll talk about how we felt.
The experience and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, she does these shows monthly, and it's all the guests are from outside. She doesn't meet anybody until they come on, usually. So...
All right, this Wednesday.
Yeah.
All right, I'm excited. It's going to be interesting.
Yeah.
All right, everybody tune in next week.
Yeah, it'll be a good time.
Rocky's going to love it.
Yeah.
And
Rocky's
Bobo.
sitting on the edge of his seat. Right on the edge of that seat.
Right on the edge.
Right on the edge. Can barely get a cheek on it. That's how close he is to the edge.
He's so on the edge.
He's balancing on it.
Everyone's on the edge.
Barely touching it with a crevice of his cheek. But anyways.
Bobby's edging all the way home.
Okay, this is getting weird. All right. So as always, be safe, be well, and be kind.
And we'll see you next week for our 700th episode.
Yes. And we'll actually be talking about, besides that next week, really quick, we're going to cover season premiere week of WWE is this week. So we'll have all that to talk about and so much more. Stay tuned for all that.
Yes.
And we'll see you all next week. Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Night, Rocky.
Good night, Rock.
Night, Bobby.
Good night, Bob.